Hello, everybody, and welcome to my session. It's entitled Developers and the 1-1-1 Model. Your community needs you. Thank you ever so much for taking your time out of Trailhead Zone today for coming to see me. My name's Christopher Allen Lewis, and I'm a developer for Cloudclear in the United Kingdom. And if you want to follow any of my ramblings on Twitter, or or have any questions for me after the presentation, then please follow me there. So what are we going to be talking about today? First of all, we're going to be talking a little bit about the 1-1-1 model itself, what it is, and kind of build on the foundations that Mark set out. Then next, we're going to be talking about how you can adopt the model as an individual and the best things you can do. Next, we're going to see with some great examples of how you can team up to make a bigger impact in the world. And next, we're going to talk about why you should adopt the model, what it actually gives back to you. So who went to the keynote yesterday? Hands up. Good, good, good. So there was a lot of mention of the philanthropic model that Salesforce has, which is the 1-1-1 model. It's where Salesforce gives 1% of all of their profit, all of their people's time, their employees' time, and 1% of their product, their great CRM platform at the cutting edge, to charitable causes. It's a fantastic thing. But what does that actually mean in real terms? Well, I'm glad Mark validated these slides that I had in preparation yesterday by saying that they give away so far $128 million in grants. That's an incredible amount. Think about how much of a difference that can make. Also, their employees have managed to deliver 1.6 million hours of community service. Again, a massive difference. And there are 29,000, that's not licenses, that's organizations around the world that are getting the same technological innovation as the likes of Coca-Cola and all these great companies. They get exactly the same bleeding edge technology. But the great news is, it's not just Salesforce anymore who are doing this. There are lots of companies who are doing this. While I was doing the research for this, I actually came across this amazing website, Pledge 1%. And there are a ton of companies, over 1,000 now, who are also following this fantastic model. And they've ranged from new, exciting startups right up to quite big players like Atlassian and Twilio. They've all decided to join this. It's bigger than Salesforce now, which is absolutely great. I recommend you go on the website and have a look through the list of everybody. So very much like yesterday, about 4 years ago, I was sat in the keynote, and they were talking again about this model of giving. And I thought, this is fantastic. I love this. I love that I'm involved in this, and I'm part of the community. But how can I action this as an individual? What difference can I make on a personal level to the lives of people around me using this same model? So I had to break it down by those three areas again. The first thing that I considered was the 1% of people, or person in my case. So I thought, what can I do to help out? What time can I give? So I started to give 1% of my weekly time to an organization called Good Gym. Good Gym are a fantastic organization where they encourage groups of runners to get together, run to a local charity project, whether it's a school garden or a garden for old people or anything like that, and make a difference by planting trees, clearing some stuff up, and generally doing a physical task. And you'd be amazed the difference that a group of 40 runners can make in an hour. Now, the reason why I started talking about not only what you can give, but what doing good gives back to you, is this has actually had a massive effect on my life as well. For instance, thanks to the running, I've got a lot fitter, which is a bonus. And also, before doing any of the kind of Good Gym stuff, I was really quite socially awkward and nervous about things, whereas going out there, meeting other people from different backgrounds, doing that kind of stuff really encourages you to gain other skills. So it's always something different to what you usually do. As developers, as admins, we have quite a mentally intense job. We have to sit down and work in isolation a lot of the time. Getting out there at the end of the day, seeing other people, getting involved with a diverse group of people is really good for you. It can help you blow off a lot of steam. Then I began to think about the 1% of product. Unfortunately, like Salesforce, I don't have the luxury of having a CRM product that I can give to people. So I really had to think hard about what I can classify as a product. And I began to think, well, my product is really my skills. It's my admin skills, it's my development skills, it's my consultancy skills. The things that I do on Salesforce for clients, why can't I give that away to people? So it was round about the same time I went to a user group in Bristol, where I'm from. And there was a representative from a fantastic company called Eric, who are a charity who deal with child continence issues and really to raise awareness and deal with those kind of problems. And I met their CEO there, and she was saying, we love Salesforce, we've just got it in, but we don't know what we can possibly do with it. We don't know the potential of what it can do, and we don't really know where to get started. So with that in mind, I arranged a meeting with them. I arranged the next week to go in and see what I could do for them. This was the start of a great relationship between myself and the company. Over the many years, I've helped them out in terms of developing things for them, giving them advice on where Salesforce is going next, and I'll certainly have a lot of news for them after this week, and really showing them how they can make the most of what they've got. Another useful thing to do, if you want to give up just a little bit of your time, is to set up office hours. So for instance, give them something like an hour a week where they can feel free to ring you up, call you up, and so you can give them advice on Salesforce. You'd be amazed at what kind of a difference that makes to a small organization who can't afford to pay for people to come in and do this kind of stuff for them. And while Salesforce is very generous in terms of giving the product, it's the expertise that is really difficult to get. The last bit, in terms of the 1% of profit, was really actually quite easy. All you have to do is take the money you make after tax and then divide it by 100. Simple as. The thing that did surprise me, though, is you may be surprised about how much you're doing this already. You might have people who, for instance, are taking part in half marathons and you've donated some money to already, or taken part in a cake sale or anything like that. You might be already doing 1% before you even realize it, which is really, really cool. But yeah, now I have a company as well. I've decided to just give 1% of the money to an organization that means quite a lot to me. So, my advice for you in terms of getting started, and if you're thinking of doing anything like this, think about those 3 different strands. Think about it, isolate it down to each individual bit. For the 1% of people of your own time, think about what you'd like to do outside of Salesforce. And you know we all love Salesforce, we're here and we're enjoying every minute, but you know, it's healthy and it's helpful to get a passion that's outside of Salesforce. So just think also what you'd like to improve on. Maybe it's social skills, maybe it's sales skills, go work in a shop for volunteerism. Anything like that. Any kind of volunteering will enable you to get a greater skill set. In terms of the products, go to user groups. Go to the .org section here. Find the charity members. There are people here who are from charities. Find them. They'd love to have your skills. They'd love for you to go in and give them some advice on where to do and take out next. And also, from a skills perspective, working with Salesforce, and especially if you work in a particular org for a long period of time, you might find that you kind of get isolated in the way you think about the way things should be built. When you go to a charity org, the setup is completely different. And so you get a chance to diversify and put your skills to a different cause. In terms of the profit, again, think about what your friends are doing. You might be doing this already, or maybe there's a charity in the local area that's doing a great job, and it's very close to you. Donate to them. Now, it's all well and good doing these things yourself and really pushing out the message and doing a lot yourself, but it's even better if you can get more and more people involved. So I would always recommend you try and spread the same model to the people at your workplace. Talk to your boss. Talk to your fellow workmates. You might actually find that they're keen to do the same thing and just hadn't thought about it. And very often you might find they actually have a charitable program that you can become part of and accomplish a lot of this. I was very fortunate in the past to work for Design.it. They're an absolutely great company, and they always allowed me to go and visit Eric whenever I needed to on work time, and they always supported us. You can see they put out a wonderful message for when myself and a couple of other runners were doing a half marathon. And they had some charitable projects of their own, which they allowed us to do in work time. And that combination of people really helps you motivate each other. I've also worked for OVO Energy, who are a fantastic energy company in the United Kingdom. And they run something called a Coder Dojo, which is very much like the kids' coding camp over there, where you're actually using your skills about coding to teach it on to the next generation. And you'd be really surprised how much you can inspire young minds. Or, if you're even feeling a little bit more adventurous, you can team up with members of the community. If you don't find anyone who's interested at work, reach out to all these people around you. There will be people who are keen to get involved, like yourselves, in community work. Now, as you might see by my T-shirt and the slide up here, there's a great example of this that I was really, really moved by, which is called Salesforce. So this was basically a day-long event, which some lovely community members organized, which I'll be inviting up on stage in a second. And it was basically a day of celebrating the Salesforce platform and trying to encourage a local community in Wales to kind of adopt the platform in the hope of gaining more technological expertise and spreading the word about what it can do for careers. And also, in terms of teaching, there was a morning worth of surfing, followed by, which was part of the Wave Project charity, who are a great charity who encourage children in deprived areas to express themselves through surfing. So without further ado, I'd like to invite the three organizers of that event up for a little bit of a panel. Can you give them a round of applause, please? Thank you, guys. So you have a microphone there? Yeah. Yes, sit down. So I can see your lovely photos on the screen here. Sean, do you want to tell us a little bit more about Salesforce and where the idea originally came from?
Sure. So much like you, Chris, I find myself loving this community and then realizing that I go to many, many, many user groups, meeting very much the same sort of type of person, the same people, and then began to wonder how I could make a difference. And being a surfer, I felt, I want to, share that part of my life with other people. And this time last year, I met with Erica Cool, and she suggested do something with surfing. People, it's quirky, it's fun. And you love it, so other people will come. And so hence Salesforce began, and I found some awesome volunteers to help me run it. And subsequently, we chose probably the most difficult place in the world to encourage surfing, a little quiet town of Wales, which is about to experience a massive job loss. 700 people are going to lose their jobs. And I thought, you know what, you can see around you, this industry is exploding and it needs people. And so I figured, you know what, we've got the best community, the best people in the world. I'm going to introduce Wales to Salesforce, and yeah, the rest is history.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So in terms of the day, I said, we had some lovely surfing in the morning and some presentations in the afternoon. Jenny, can you tell us a little bit more about the surfing in the morning, kind of what was involved?
Yeah, of course. So basically, we woke up to a lovely, sunny, not grey day in Wales. And Sean, Kerry and I went out and did a little periscope just to let the Salesforce community know what the day was going to be like. It was looking pretty dim. However, it cleared up, and the community took to the beach in the wetsuits. Hey, honestly, right? Seeing the community in the wetsuits, oh, well. That's a sight you'll never forget, right? Dave Carroll was in a wetsuit, guys. Dave Carroll. He was. He's a legend. And it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Dave. Anyway, sorry, I had to get that out of the way. So basically, we did a warm-up on the beach. There was a few people that face planted, and the ball ended up hitting their face and stuff like that. But it was, we all warmed up, and then we took to the waves and basically went surfing.
Yeah.
Which was pretty amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And in the afternoon, of course, we went indoors, got off our wetsuits, and then had some lovely presentations. So, Kerry, can you tell us a little bit more about the content in the afternoon?
Yeah, so one of the key things was actually with the surfing was to get together and actually learn something new. So we work with a community that wants to learn, and therefore learning something new, i.e. surfing, however quirky that might be, was amazing. And then in the afternoon we had some sessions from community members. So the focus of this event was really to entice people into tech. So the difference between, say, an event like this where we were teaching people about the technology, we really had to speak to a different audience. And in this sense, we had other community members sharing their story about how they got into using Salesforce, why they liked the community, the product, why it was important to them to really sort of focus on that story. And again, we were very lucky to have some real legends from Salesforce, Dave Carroll and Mike Creedon, who also gave us like a history of the platform to really introduce people into what was happening.
Yeah. I mean, there were some fantastic stories. It was obviously lovely to hear about the history of Salesforce. That was really good. And the stories there were really, really inspiring. You know, you heard about people who had no kind of technology background and really moved on to have full technology careers, and it blew my mind away. You know, it was really, really good. And Sean, the main aim behind raising some of the money there was for the Wave project. So can you tell me a little bit more about what the Wave project does?
Yeah, so if you're going to do something like this, I absolutely encourage you to do it. I made the decision to do this instead of starting my MBA, and I think I learned more by doing this than doing an MBA. So absolutely, career development, people development, it's fantastic. Before I start with the Wave project, I'd encourage you to work with sponsors, because they genuinely, all the sponsors you see on those surfboards, and in particular on the towel, which you can have afterwards, I've got swag for you. I've actually got shirts and towels, and we're welcome, and socks. But yeah, the sponsors get involved and really make this happen. I mean, they paid for everything. It was fantastic. And all the money that was left over, and people bought additional swag to raise funds for the Wave project. And what they do is they, through the medium of surfing, help mentally unstable people or challenged people, kids in particular, to overcome their hardships. And I mean, we met a good few of them, and I can't tell you how rewarding it is to see people with, what seems unsurmountable come and join us for a Coda Dojo after a surf. I mean, personally, I left that one particular day just so inspired and so enthusiastic to do it again and again and again. So if you want to come to the next one, it's in Ireland.
That was going to be my next question, Sean. Is there going to be another one?
Yes, there's discussions for the next one. We've started planning. So as soon as we work out what it's going to be and who it's going to be for, the Salesforce website will tell all.
Nice. And Kerry and Jenny, is there plans for any more varieties like this? I mean, I certainly had a lot of fun at Salesforce surfing. Is there any chance of a dance force? Of a walk force, moonwalk force, anything?
Chris, this is your forte, right?
Yeah.
If anyone knows
right.
Chris, you'll know he can dance, right?
Oh, that sounds like
I'm not going to not now. Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to you all. Thank you for coming up here. From a personal perspective, I really wanted to say that I loved the event. It was a fantastic day. I never thought I'd see a sea full of developers with surfboards. It was incredible. And all the stories in the afternoon, like I said, so inspiring. Like I was nearly moved to tears with some of the people that I heard about. And I loved the fact that you did this all for the Wave project and tried to instill that community spirit, the Salesforce community spirit, and the culture that we talk about, the Hawaiian culture, into a little piece of grey whales. And to kind of show my thanks, earlier in the slide, I was talking about 1% of profit, and I haven't given actually anything yet as part of my company. So I've actually got a check that is for £500. For the Americans, that's $630. It might have been a little bit more before Brexit. Sorry about that. But yeah.
Lift it up.
So.
No, I mean, that's awesome. And
Thank you.
I think it's amazing how much it moves people to hear those personal stories. And it did really make a difference to those children.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Chris, honestly, you don't. I'll show you how much this helps their charity. Just as an example, the Prince and Princess of Wales in the UK have just decided to make this their charity of choice, and this will go a long way. Chris, thank you so much for that.
You. No problem.
Thanks, Chris.
No problem.
Afterwards, we'll be standing over there. Please do swing past. The swag's all yours. Share the spirit, and I really hope it encourages you to do something similar.
Yeah,
you won't be sad.
I mean, there's a lot of swag around here today, but this is next level swag. This is incredible.
There's
How
a
many beach
towel
towels
in
are there
there.
around? Yeah, look at that. That's cool. If you just want to stay put, we're going to have a Q&A just in a little bit. I know. Eager to get back to the beach. Okay, so summing up, well, we've obviously gone through what the 1-1-1 model is and what Salesforce do and how other companies are now adopting that. Hopefully I've shown you a few examples of how you can adopt these kind of things as an individual and the kind of skills that it gives you in return and the great feeling that it gives you. And also that you can team up to make an even larger impact. I mean, all these things start off as just little ideas and look what you can accomplish. It's fantastic. And I haven't really gone into why you should adopt the model yet, but I'd like to really sum it up with these two quotes. It's that one person really can make a difference. For instance, Salesforce was probably just an idea in one of your heads at some point. That whole thing, and the whole 1-1-1 model will have been an idea in somebody's head at some point. So all you have to do is just take that idea and make it a reality. I'd be thrilled if what I've done today means that you pick up that Dreamforce Red and donate a couple of dollars there. That would make my day. Or if the next time you see an opportunity to help a .org customer, you help them out. Or the next time you want to do a run for charity, you take that mantle and take that challenge. It's the best feeling ever. And yeah, on that note, it has been the most rewarding part of my career. I've done an awful lot in my career. I've got a great degree. I've got a great job. I've separated off and started my own company. I've even been an MVP. But nothing is quite the same as running past a tree that you've planted. Nothing's quite the same as being able to do something like that and donate money to a great cause. Nothing's the same as being able to drive home in your car after a meeting with a charity who say, this is fantastic. Thank you so much for bringing us into the 21st century. We don't know what we'd have done without you. So it is the best feeling ever. So really, I'd just like to say thank you for coming along. Thank you for cheering us. And if you've got any questions for myself or the panel, we would love to hear them. Thank you very much.